Hello and welcome back to another nail video. Today I am doing my cousin's nails. She is getting some short almond acrylic nails, and of course I am starting my nail prep by gently pushing back her cuticles. Then I'm using my 100/180 grit nail file to briefly file her natural nails, and I am using the 180 grit side because it is safe on the natural nails. And I always like to give my clients a nice little manicure before any acrylic application, just to help promote the growth of their natural nails. And moving right along to her cuticle prep, I am using a cuticle nail drill bit to go around her cuticle area and remove any of the dead cuticles that she has on her nail bed. And this is going to help with her retention. So whenever you're doing nails, you want to try your hardest to make sure that you remove everything from the nail surface, just so that the product can stick to her natural nails and hopefully these nails last. Then I use my 180 grit sanding band to remove the shine from her natural nail. Again, this is going to help with her retention, and your natural nail just naturally builds up a lot of oil, so you want to make sure you remove all of that oil off of her nail bed in order to have a nice smooth application and to have these nails last, which is the most important. You want your clients to be happy with their sets, but you also want them to get their money's worth and allow these nails to last 2 or at least 3 weeks. One thing I will say, I do focus most of my time and energy on the nail prep because it is so important to the process. When you have a good prep system for yourself, the process goes a lot smoother, your nails last a lot longer, and the client remains happy and satisfied. So don't quickly prep the nails. You always want to take your time and do it right. And when you get a system for yourself, you'll notice it's just like a piece of cake, like a walk in the park. Once her nails are prepped, I'm going to go ahead and glue down her tips. And I like to apply a small bead of nail glue directly to the tip of her natural nail, and then I line the nail tip up with her knuckle. That way I know that I am applying the nail tip on straight and it won't be crooked, because some clients do have crooked nails. I even have a crooked nail, but if you line the nail tip up with your knuckle, it'll definitely come out straight. Also, when I'm applying her nail tips, I make sure that the nail tip fits from sidewall to sidewall, because if your nail tip is too big or too small, that can actually cause the nails to lift, which is what we don't want to happen. So you definitely want to make sure that your nail tips are fitting correctly from one sidewall to the other. Next, I'm using my tip cutters to cut her nail tips down to her desired length. And I definitely make sure to ask my client if she's okay with this size, just to make sure that she is satisfied with the length of nails that she is going to be getting. Also, if you notice, I do have some magnets on the opposite side of my tip cutter, and I did purchase these magnets from Amazon, and they just help me get a perfect even cut every time. And this helps cut down on time because I know that my nails are the same length. She requested almond shaped nails today, so next I'm using my clippers to just clip off the corners of the nail tips, so that when I file the nails, I don't have to file as much. Next, I am using my 80/80 grit nail file to shape these nails before my acrylic application. And I try my hardest to move my file from one side to the other to avoid over filing the nails. Also, one thing to note is the lower the number on the file, the more harsh the file can be. So this is an 80/80 grit nail file, which means that it will remove the product or shape the nails more quicker than a 100/100 grit nail file. Actually, a 180 grit nail file is the perfect size grit for the natural nail. So it's definitely one thing to keep in mind. You never want to put an 80/80 grit nail file on your client's natural nail, because it can cause damage because the file is too harsh for the natural nail. But it is perfect for filing and shaping nail tips, as well as acrylic and sometimes even gel. So that's just one good thing to keep in mind. The products I'm working with today is Young Nails Cover Pink, Mia Secret White Acrylic, Mia Secret Liquid Monomer, and my number 12 Panna Kalinsky brush. Off camera, I went ahead and cleansed the nails and wiped them off with a nail brush. Now I am applying one thin layer of dehydrator first to her natural nail, and then a layer of primer to her natural nail. One thing to keep in mind is primer only lasts 15 minutes, so I begin my acrylic application directly after that while the primer is still wet. So today my client requested pink to white ombre nails. So I am starting my acrylic application by applying the Mia Secret white acrylic to the tip of her nails. Then I'm going to go back in and add the pink acrylic to make the ombre. And one thing to keep in mind, and this is just my opinion when you're using Mia Secret, it is more of a beginner nail product, a beginner nail brand for beginners, but also advanced nail techs. But with that being stated, their acrylic does dry a little slower than typical acrylic. So you just want to make sure that you are taking your time and letting that product polymerize, or just taking your time before you apply it to the natural nail so that it is not running everywhere off the nail and you're not having to like chase the product. Also, another thing to note, if you find yourself using acrylic that is runny, you can add a little acetone to the monomer, and that will help the product dry a little quicker. Next, I go back in with the Young Nails Cover Pink acrylic, and I apply a small bead a little before the cuticle area, and then I just push that product back towards the cuticle. One thing to keep in mind is you want to try your hardest to not get any of the product on your client's skin. I know that may be difficult sometimes, but if you do find yourself getting product on the client's skin, just quickly remove it, just so that the client doesn't develop a reaction to the product, and it's just not healthy for the skin. Also, if you want your nails to last, you don't want to have any product on the client's skin, because that will definitely cause those nails to lift. Another thing to know if you want your nails to last is cuticle application is important. You want to try your hardest to get that product underneath the cuticle. That way, when it grows out, there won't be any way for it to lift from her natural nail. Also, another thing to know when you're doing acrylic nails, or you want your acrylic nails to last, is that the temperature in your nail room definitely matters when it comes to your acrylic application and how quickly or slowly your beads set. Your room temperature should stay around 74 to 75 degrees in order to have a good, smooth application. Now, of course, I am just going to repeat the same steps on her other hand as far as my acrylic prep and application. So I will just let you all watch and enjoy. And if you have made it this far in the video, leave a comment down below your favorite part so far. Also, one thing to know when you're doing acrylic ombres, you always want to cap the nails in clear acrylic. That way, when you begin to file and shape your nails, you don't file away your ombre. And I went ahead and filed and shaped these nails off camera. And they're looking so cute. Next, I have my client wash her hands just to remove all the dust and debris. And now I am going to be applying a very thin layer of the Beetles base coat to each nail. I am going to be doing a little nail art on her today. So whenever I do any nail art, I always like to make sure that I'm using base coat because it does allow the gel polish to go on a lot smoother. So, that's one thing to know when you're doing nails. You always want to use base coat. That way your gel polish lasts. Then once I'm done, I have my client stick her hand in the nail lamp for about 60 seconds. And now I'm using my Beetles white gel liner brushes. It's one of my favorite brands and kinds of gel liner brushes. I use this gel liner brush a lot. And I'm just creating a white French outline on her pink and white ombre set, and it came out so cute and so classic and elegant, and I just love how these nails turned out. And I really hope you learned a lot from my video today. Just some things to know to make your acrylic nails last. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing for more nail content. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next nail video.